Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this week I am so excited because the Met Gala is my Super Bowl. It is coming up next week. It is on Monday, and what better way to kick off the most exciting event of the year, in my opinion. I know that sounds super dumb. I just love pop culture. I love everything about this event. It is so highbrow, high fashion, and I wanted to go back and actually talk about what the Met Gala is because I know a lot of people don't know the purpose of it. I want to talk about some of my favorite looks of all time, some of my favorite moments, and then I want to do a little preview of the 2025 event, what the theme is, what the dress code is, and who we are expected to see there. So without further ado, let's just get into it. In its essence, the Met Gala or Met Ball is a fundraising event for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's costume exhibit, and it serves as the grand opening for the fashion exhibition of the year. It has become a star-studded event. I'm sure we all know the most famous people attend this every single year. And it is not cheap or easy to get an invite to this because Anna Wintour, the editor-in-chief at Vogue, actually hand selects every single person that is coming. She gets a list and she can accept or decline anyone's offer. And in terms of the tickets, last year, one ticket for one seat inside was $75,000. Now, the celebrities themselves don't normally pay this. What actually happens is fashion designers will buy a table. So they'll pay that price and get however many seats are at a table, and then they'll invite celebrities that are really popular right now or just popular in general to wear custom designs and generate hype around their business. It takes place on the first Monday of May in New York City, and it truly turns into a huge pop culture affair where everyone on the internet is really talking about it for 24 to 48 hours. The dress code is provided to each fashion designer ahead of the event, and they are tasked with pretty much taking their clients and creating looks for them that fit that. The dress code itself is usually based on the exhibit, so they're not the same thing. This is a very common misconception. The exhibit has a theme every single year, and then the dress code is modeled after that. They are not the same thing, but the dress code usually takes inspiration from the exhibit itself. The red carpet is also designed to match the theme and the dress code, which I think is an amazing touch. I love that they do this. And we, the common folk, know what goes on just on the red carpet because what happens inside is kind of a mystery. We know that there is a performance every single year by a musical artist. If you remember last year, Ariana Grande shut the entire event down with her amazing performance that also included Cynthia Erivo. But it seems like they're just served dinner and they get to walk through the exhibit and see, but we don't actually really know what else goes on. It's kind of a mystery, and I think that's why people are also really intrigued by this event because there is a little bit of ambiguity behind it. Also, over the years, the exhibit and the dress code have really gotten a lot more complex and fun because at first it was just honoring specific fashion designers. So people who attended would just kind of wear that designer and not do anything inventive or creative with it. However, I would say in the last 20 or so years, they had to curate more niche themes because they kind of ran out of the most famous fashion designers. So they wanted to focus more on culture and art and how the two intersected. And we've really seen that come through in the dress codes as well, because this has turned into a full-blown spectacle. It used to not be this way, but in the last 10, 15 years, everyone is sat. And also, of course, that is due to social media, and now you can kind of see anything online, but people are refreshing their feeds over and over again to see what their favorite celebrities are wearing on the carpet. And since there's been so many iterations of this event, we have some amazing looks that have been displayed by some of our favorite celebrities. So I do want to talk about that next. I will say, as a collective, one year where everyone just got the theme and they were dialed in and on point was the 2018 Heavenly Bodies Met Gala. Now, this was literally everything to me. I think about this once a month. Fashion designers did not come to play. Like, they ate down with this. Top tier looks across the board. I want to say Rihanna, Blake Lively, Zendaya, Ariana Grande wearing the dress painted as a Sistine Chapel, Lana Del Rey going with Gucci with like the heart with the things in it and the headpiece with the birds, like Cardi B with that insanely long train, Sarah Jessica Parker, the list truly goes on. This Met Gala, I think, is regarded as the best in terms of the fashion because sometimes we can get a little dicey with the theme and people either don't follow it when they don't get it or designers just choose to highlight their current designs. This one, everyone was so locked in for 2018. There also was this Vogue exclusive video that year that went extremely viral. It was so iconic. Let me just play a little bit here.
Reach out, touch faith.
And now going into the individual outfits, I need to highlight some celebrities that really never miss or had stunning fashion moments that transcended just that year. Starting out with Lady Gaga in 2019 at the Camp Notes on Fashion Met Gala. This is where Gaga was a co-chair, and usually when you're a co-chair, you go a little bit more all out, but Gaga took it to the next level. She didn't just wear a garment, she did performance art on the carpet that lasted about 10 minutes and had 4 separate outfits shown off to the public. There were reveals, there were props, it literally had everything. And I think about this look so frequently because it was so good. Like, I was speechless when I saw it on the live stream that year. They were all designed by Brandon Maxwell. And again, she started out in this big, long pink dress. First of all, the glam too, with the eyebrows and the hair with the bows. Everything was on point. And then that had buttons in it. It revealed into this black dress that had a bustle on the side. And then she was handed a black umbrella by one of the people off to the side, which then that revealed into a skin tight pink dress that then she accessorized with these big black sunglasses and an old school telephone to finally reveal into her bra and her tight like biker shorts and fishnets and carried a little pink wagon. Like, it was camp. That was true camp. People overuse that word all the time. I overuse that word and I can admit to that, but like, this was the epitome of what Anna Wintour was looking for when she created a Met Gala under the theme of Camp Notes on Fashion. She also walked down the streets of New York City in this whole ensemble, and that is how the performance started. Like, she left her hotel and instead of taking a Sprinter van right up to the beginning of the carpet, she walked through New York City where people were waiting outside the Met to start this whole performance, which I loved even more. Another thing I loved about this was Gaga really cared. She read Susan Sontag's essay, Camp Notes on Fashion. She wanted to understand the theme and she wanted to do it justice, especially because she was a co-chair. So her and Brandon Maxwell were so in tune and really bouncing ideas off of each other this entire time to create a collaborative piece of art, honestly, that all of us could see. And I think it's my favorite Met Gala look of all time. Speaking of the 2019 Met Gala, I would be remiss if I did not mention Karlie Kloss looking camp right into the eye. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Karlie did tease her look a little bit early, as many celebrities do. She posted on her socials of her kind of looking into a compact with the caption, looking camp right in the eye, and people were gagged. They were like, Karlie's a fashion girl, she's a model, she's going to slay this. People were bracing themselves for a major serve, and everyone was extremely let down because what she showed up in was anything but. It was a skin-tight mini dress with puff black sleeves. First of all, the dress itself was just ugly. But second of all, it was so underwhelming that people destroyed her online for teasing that this look was even going to be camp in any way, shape, or form. Like, she thought she was giving, and everyone online was tearing her apart. But I want to bring up something, because this is one of the most talked about Met Gala moments of all time, so it does beg the question, was it camp in the end? And my answer to that is like, of course the dress was not camp. The dress was ugly. But the moment that it created, I think, is camp, because it is something that is still going on. People talk about the Met Gala every year, and they have to bring up the Karlie Kloss looking camp right in the eye. So therefore, in kind of a backwards way, it ended up being camp, but that was not the intention. Then we have Blake Lively at the 2022 Met Gala. Now, Blake has been kind of considered a queen of the Met. She's gone, I think, like 10 times at this point and always slays the carpet. I'm not talking about anything else related to Blake Lively in this video. Let that be clear. I just want to talk about her looks at the Met Gala. In 2022, the theme was, in America, an anthology of fashion, with the dress code being gilded glamour, so it was focusing on gilded age fashion. And what Blake Lively decided to do was something extremely unique, and I loved the concept behind this because she wore this very long copper gown that revealed it to an even longer turquoise train. Just looking at it, it could just be seen as a pretty dress, but there is more than meets the eye because it was inspired by the Statue of Liberty that of course was copper when it was first brought over to America and then patinaed over time. So the copper actually oxidized, and that is why the Statue of Liberty is the color it is today, that like turquoisey blue. So Blake Lively wanted her dress to patina live in front of us. And that is exactly what she did. She showed up in an all copper affair and then walked into the event with that turquoise and the gloves And it was stunning. I loved the way she explained this garment. I think it was built really well. It was a custom Versace that Blake really had a big part in helping design because she had an idea. I will say Blake also has some honorable mentions, her 2018 Heavenly Bodies look and her 2017 look where the theme was, and I'm just gonna read this, Rei Kawakubo, Comme des Garçons, Art of the In-Between. Next up, I wanna talk about a really vintage Met Gala look. It's the 1995 dress that Naomi Campbell wore, and this was before the Met was a crazy spectacle like it is today. However, Naomi's been a staple at the Met for many, many years. And she wore this crystallized Versace dress that goes down in history as one of the greatest Met Gala looks of all time, even by Vogue standards. The theme was haute couture that year, and this was exactly that. It was elegant, it was elevated, it was stoned, it was bright, it was shiny, it was everything that you're looking for in a couture dress. Like the construction, it was all stunning. And I wanted to include that because I feel like a lot of people aren't familiar with it. Then we have Rihanna, who is my personal queen of the Met, and I just cannot pick one look for her. So I'm going to talk about her 2015, 2017, and 2018 looks. In 2015, the theme was China Through the Looking Glass, and Rihanna decided to wear Guo Pei, I think I'm pronouncing that right, who is a Chinese designer, which I loved. She was highlighting a Chinese designer at an event that was focusing on Chinese fashion, and this yellow dress was everything. It was just so regal. The way that she was walking up the stairs and it was draped behind her, those photos are amazing. And then in 2017 with her Comme des Garçons Met Gala look, she did wear Comme des Garçons, which was pretty literal, but it was from their fall 2016 collection. This flower dress, I think, was made really well. It is super cool. And that is what I like about it. Like the construction is really intricate, the flowers that are coming off. It's just super interesting and the glam was great as well. And then we had, my favorite look of hers was her 2018 Heavenly Bodies Met Gala look. She wore Margiela by John Galliano and this was just next level. I mean, the Pope hat, the coat, the embellishments, like it must have taken weeks and weeks and weeks for this to be constructed. Like it is so elegant. Everything was hand beaded into this garment for everything. The dress, the cape / coat, it was 10s, 10s, 10s across the board. I love this look so much. I could talk about it for days. John Galliano is a genius for this. The next two I'm going to talk about are probably going to be extremely controversial, but they are Kim Kardashian's looks from 2019 and 2021. At the 2019 Met Gala, Kim Kardashian got to the carpet and the first thing people noticed was how snatched her waist was. Now, the next part of the discourse was people saying that it was not camp. I disagree with this. I don't know, there was just something about it that I believe to fit within the essay. Something being camp is not just it being kitschy and over the top. It can be something that is extravagant. It's to some degrees otherworldly. And that is honestly what I saw when Kim came on that carpet. I was like, the proportions that she has are so out of this world that I would consider them to be camp because they're so over the top. Now, it is a little bit less tongue-in-cheek than some of the other looks that we saw on that carpet. It was extremely serious and literal. It was a Mugler gown. However, another thing that adds to this camp factor was the idea that Kim was wet. And it really did look like that. She did this slicked back, wet hair. She had these jewels that were dripping from her dress that almost made it seem like she was cascading water as she walked through. So to me, I don't know, I loved this look. It also kind of cemented Kim as this fashion girl instead of just Kanye's +1 at the time. So I don't know, I think that that is going to draw some controversy, but I will say also it's my favorite Met Gala look from Kim's ever. The next one is her 2021 look where she showed up in that Balenciaga kind of catsuit that also had a cape, it was a dress, but it covered up her entire face. It made a lot of headlines because she showed up and didn't show her face, which is something that you wouldn't expect Kim Kardashian to do at one of the most prestigious events of the year. However, the theme was, in America, a lexicon of fashion. And I took this as Kim making a statement saying that her silhouette, it was so recognizable. It itself became a part of the lexicon of American fashion because she is so noticeable. Like you see a body type and you're like, this is a Kim Kardashian-esque body type. And that was the statement it was making to me. And I was like, wait, this is kind of iconic that she's saying that like her silhouette is a part of American fashion. But I know this look is extremely controversial. I get why people don't like it. And had she worn that to the 2019 Met Gala, low-key it would have been camp as well. What are your thoughts on that? Then we have Tyla in 2024. This was her first Met, and this is how you come to the Met for the first time. She honestly cemented herself in Met history with this Sands of Time look. The theme was Sleeping Beauty's reawakening fashion, with the dress code being Garden of Time. And Tyla literally showed up as the Sands of Time. The way I was speechless when I saw her there. The way I was speechless when I saw her walk onto the carpet on my live stream. It was a Balmain gown, it was stunning, Literally, it felt like sand was just like thrown onto her body and it stuck in the perfect form-fitting way. And then that hourglass handbag just brought it to the next level for me. Oh my God, I was gagged. I was gagged. Also, it was like so delicate. It was like a sculpture. So she was carried up the stairs, which is also iconic. Like, especially for your first Met, being lifted and carried up the stairs, kind of everything. And lastly, we have another one of my favorite Met Gala attendees, Zendaya. Zendaya is just my fashion icon just all the time ever, because her and Law Roach's partnership is something that like needs to be studied in like fashion museums. It is just so good. But I want to talk about her 2024 look because she actually had two. She walked the carpet twice, one in the beginning because she was a co-chair, and then one towards the end, both in Margiela by John Galliano. And Law Roach explains this as kind of a celebration of John Galliano's work. But the first one itself directly represents the Garden of Time. It was a very earth-toned dress. It had the greens, it had the blues, her makeup was done perfectly. I did compare it to like a Hunger Games Capital Citizen when I reviewed it on TikTok last year. However, then when she switched later on, it was a long black gown with this floral bouquet headpiece where her head was literally part of the bouquet. But it kind of talks about this deterioration of the nature and beauty over time. And it was such a great juxtaposition to what she walked the carpet in the first time. Like, I got it. I was there with her and I was obsessed. I think the gowns were beautiful. They were so different. Like, if you're gonna do a carpet walk twice and have an outfit change, like, they need to be two stellar looks. And delivering one amazing look that people talk about at the Met is honestly hard enough because everyone is a critic. But to actually serve two looks that everyone loved is so hard. And she honestly did it with ease. Like, I just love Zendaya so much. Finally, let's move on to this year's event. As I said, it's going to take place on Monday, and the exhibit itself is titled Superfine Tailoring Black Style. I want to read the actual description of this because I think it's really important to understand what we're going to be looking for on the carpet and what the exhibit is so people kind of know what's on theme. Basically, it explores the importance of clothing and style of the formation of Black identities. The exhibit is broken up into 12 different characteristics of Black dandyism, each one representing a specific component of dandy style. And they are ownership, presence, distinction, disguise, freedom, champion, respectability, and juke, which are all explained in Nora Zeal Hurston's characteristic of Negro expression. The dress code itself is tailored for you. Now, this is extremely ambiguous, but it does give a little bit of guidance. Now, it really is a nod to focus on the menswear of this time. So we're going to be seeing a lot of suits, a lot of interesting tailoring, a lot of hats, brooches, ties, menswear accessories. Designers are basically encouraged to kind of infuse these menswear elements into their designs with these celebrities to pay homage to the exhibit. I personally think we're going to see a lot of interesting suit jackets and pants with over-the-top accessories or fun elements within them, like different patterns, different textures. The co-chairs are Coleman Domingo, A$AP Rocky, Lewis Hamilton, Pharrell Williams, and then LeBron James is an honorary co-chair. For the first time ever, Vogue also revealed a list of hosts. And it's like 20 to 30 names of people that will definitely be attending this year. And normally they do not do that. But this year they actually named a lot of people that are going to be in attendance. And here is that list. I don't want to read off every name, but you can kind of look through and let me know who you're most excited to see, especially on this list. But there's also going to be like 100 to 200 more people on top of this. Out of those people, I am so excited to see Doechii. It will be her first Met Gala, and I think she's definitely going to go with Thom Browne, especially given the theme. But I cannot wait to see what she comes up with. She is like such a fashion icon to me, and I think she's going to absolutely serve. And then Janelle Monáe. This theme was made for her. If you remember her 2019 look, think about that. Like, that would have slayed if she wore it this year. But I just know she's going to do something so cool. In terms of watching, the red carpet is now always streamed on Vogue's YouTube channel, and they have like a couple different red carpet correspondents. This year, it's Teyana Taylor, Lala Anthony, and Ego Nwodim. Emma Chamberlain will also return for the 5th year as the special Vogue carpet correspondent, which means she just films her interviews with these celebrities and they get uploaded onto Vogue the next day. They're actually not a part of the live stream. These are my favorite things to watch. Emma is one of my favorite creators ever, and I think that she is just so fashion girl. Like, I'm just so proud of her for like everything that she's done, and she does an amazing job with these. If you haven't seen any of them, definitely go check them out. She's had a couple really viral moments like the one with Jack Harlow. But what were your thoughts on this video? Who are you most excited to see on Monday? And like, this is my Super Bowl. That is why I'm making this video. I just love the Met, and like, I'm going to do a full outfit review. It'll be up Tuesday afternoon. So like, trust and believe I'm going to be working on Monday because I'm covering it on all of my social media. It's linked down below if you want to follow me. I just love the Met Gala, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you very soon for my outfit review. Have a great week. Please like, comment, and subscribe.